So let's start with the podcast. So that's the first page I'm going to edit. So we've already created the page shell. To edit the page, I just come in here to edit. Okay. Right now my title is the DRH podcast, and I'll show you what that looks like when we come to it. Now, I don't want the title of my page to actually be DRH podcast. I want my menu item to be DRH podcast, but I want my title to be first things first with the ellipses. And so every time you change something to the edit page of your page, make sure you update it. If you don't update it, you'll lose all of the work that you've done. So that will load, and I'll come and show you what happens when I've changed that title. It changes it here, first things first. The problem is it also changes it up here in the menu. Now, to change this menu item back, what you need to do is go back to design, menus. Okay, and then to here, you want to change this navigation label back to DRH podcast, and then save your menu there. It's a bit of an awkward process, but so that's returned it to DRH podcast. And in fact, I might bring this up now so that we've got DRH blog, DRH podcast, and then the Rainmaker tutorial as the last menu item. So I'll reload that. Okay, I've still got my title here, first things first, but then now I'm back to DRH podcast as the menu item, and I've obviously changed the ordering there. So that's how you change the header title and retain the menu item. So back to here, I'll go back to edit pages. And then it won't be DRH blog that you're editing. You'll need to look for first things first. That's now the page title. So edit that. Unfortunately, I have my content document for my podcast. So this is the content that I want to add in, which means that I can just copy and paste all of this except for my page title. So I'll copy that and paste it into there. Now you've got two tabs here. You've got a visual tab and a text tab. A text tab is the HTML text as it will appear, and that's how you can edit it. The visual tab is kind of what it looks like on the page. Okay, so let me just update that, and I'll show you what it looks like there in raw form, just copied and pasted in. So I'll reload that. Okay, so there we go. It's got paragraphs there, it's got some text. Okay, it doesn't look too bad, but it looks pretty plain for a title page. So what I'm going to do is add my images. So to embed images into the pages like this, it's easier to just add media instead of using photo bucket. So I'll come to here and add media, and the image that I want to upload is, I'll have to upload it from a file. So upload images, select file. Okay, and my podcast image with the globe, this one here. No, that's not it. It's this one here, the edited version. So you can see that it's got the tint and the frame. So I'll choose this one, and I'll just insert that into page here. Okay, so there we go. So you can see that the visual text here, you can see the image, and if I went to text, you would just see the link of the podcast globe and the HTML text. So it's probably better to edit it through here. And let's save that and upload just to see what it looks like. Okay, so there it is there. That doesn't look too bad. However, I don't like the shortened text over this side that much. I'd like to start the text to be full across, and then maybe narrow down the text at about here-ish, so from warning. So I want the image to start with this paragraph here. I want this text here to run across all the way across the page up the top. So to change that, we'll come back here, and the best bet there is to come to text, copy this image. So the image starts at a href and it finishes at a. In fact, I might delete again the a attribute, and we'll start it just at the image class. So that will just show the image and it won't provide a link. So let me cut that. And as I said, I'd like the image to start here behind podcast. So I'll paste it there. And once you've done that, you can flick over to image and you'll see there what I'm talking about. So I'll update that, and we'll come and have a look. And now I've got my text running across here, and then it starts at about the warning part. And what I might actually do now is just put the image over on the left-hand side. So because I've got my stop sign image here, they're a bit close. I think I'd prefer it to be on the left-hand side, and then for there to be text between this image and this image. So to do that, we'll just come over here, click on the image, click on this little pencil icon, which brings up the editing part, and then the align part here, I just want to align it to the left. Okay, so I'll update that, and now that's flipped over to the left-hand side. Okay, I'll update to show you there that quick change. And there we go. I think that looks a bit better with the text in between the two images. Now, there's two other images that I want to upload. The first one I'll upload here, I think. Okay, so again, we'll add media. Again, we'll upload a file. And this one, I'll choose. And the alignment here you can edit before you embed the image, so right, left, center. I want to keep this one right, in fact, so I'll upload that, and that'll add in there. And the last image I want to add is in our digital signature, which you may or may not have created. So I'll upload a file, again, select image, and I will add in my signature. And I think I will want that to align left of the page. Okay, so as you can see, you've got the signature and then Tom Allen next to it. Let me just see what that looks like, and we'll see what all of my images now look like when I update it. Okay, so we'll reload that. Okay, so there's that image, which looks fine. The signature, and there we go. So the image is to the right of it, so I'll need to knock that down a bit. Let me just see what it looks like there. The problem is that if you enter it all the way down, it's a bit funny, and it might look like it's a number of lengths below the signature, this Tom Allen part, and I want it to be just sitting underneath. So there you go. So having it appear in line with it here, because of the funny nature of the editing, makes it appear just here. If I were to enter that again so that it does appear fully below it on this editing part of the page, then the Tom Allen part will start here at the hacker attacker, and there might be, there you go. So there's too much white space between there. So by keeping it next to it, at least this Tom Allen part, and updating it there, then it doesn't have this amount of white space between the signature and my name, and there we go. So that's the best way to do it. And the final things that I want to do is just make a few last minute changes. So you may not notice here, but the text on the page is not a solid black, it's kind of a dark gray. So I want to change that all to black, except for this warning text, which I want to make even grayer and put in italics. And then I want to put through some headings, some other font color changes, and some horizontal lines, which you know that I love. So we'll come back over here to the edit. The first thing that I'll do is change all of the font color to black. So highlight all of your text, and then come to this A text color and make it black. Now there's some issues with making all your text black. Sometimes it doesn't actually work. So you might have to keep changing it to make sure that it is all black. I'll make this warning text grey, and then I'll italicize it. So I'll italicize that. Okay, now, so that's all done. The next thing I want to do is put in some horizontal lines. The first one I want to put in after the title. So the horizontal line is the HR tag, and when you come down to your text, it's a little bit easier. You can either add the HR tag on the text editor part, so adding this HR tag into this area, or you can come to the visual tab, and wherever you want to put your horizontal line, you just press this horizontal line there, and that'll add it in for you. So I'll go ahead and do that. In each place that I want it, and obviously if you don't want horizontal lines, then this is pretty null and void for you, but I'll update that and show you what it looks like. I'll reload this. So you've got the horizontal line there. You've got your horizontal lines here under each of these parts that I want to have as headings. The problem is it still doesn't look how I want it to, and I think the issue is color. It's all black, and while these are headings, they don't stand out. So I want to make them my red color. I'm using the green, and then I'm also using a maroon color. So what I'd like to do is change these headings to bold to begin with. So I'll go ahead and do that. Oh, that's gone and done the whole thing. It's done it again. Okay. Just highlight this part and bold that. And yeah, so it takes a bit of a mucking around, but so those are the headings that I want bolded. To change the color, you can either change it here, but they only give you a select number of colors. So I normally come over to this text section, and this is the first one, and you see that it has span style color equals all the zeros. All those zeros are black. So if you wanted to change the color, you know that you can get your color code and just paste it into here, and mine is just 2 9s at the start of it. So I'll come down and change all of these headings to my maroon color. And again, if you don't want to change the text, then you don't have to. Now we'll come over here to the visual, and you'll see that there we go. So there's changed there. The other thing that I want to change color is the Tom Allen. So down the bottom here, I'd like to make that the maroon too. There we are. I probably also want to bold these two as well. Okay, so I'll upload that and have a look, and I'll probably continue to play around with this, but because it can be a bit finicky. But that's the basics. So that will be basically how my page looks there, with the nice headings. It breaks up the page. I'll probably bring this down a bit so that that line goes all the way across, and turn things a different color and that type of thing. But that's basically it. So that will be my first page all done and dusted.